Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. I got another video for you today. This one is the Heathan. Randy Buchanan's back tying this one with me again. Like I said before, we did a couple videos after a nice day of fishing, and he showed off some really good patterns, and this is one that I really like. And I say it in the video, a friend of mine, Todd, I call him Squeege, he's fished this for a lot of years. He would always get on me about not fishing one because he catches a lot of fish on it. With sulfur season coming up here around the shop, Randy says in the video it's a great sulfur pattern due to this Keller and stuff. It's a great emerger for sulfurs, so I would also suggest it for that. I tie it here. I personally, when I'm tying it for myself, I've been tying it a lot on a size 18 lately. I've been going smaller and smaller with my hooks. Having a lot more success by going smaller. And one of the things that a couple things that Randy does in the video that I do a little bit differently. He uses Larva Lace products. We don't carry Larva Lace products at the shop. We carry stretch tubing, which is just like the Larva Lace. It's pretty much the exact same thing. A little bit smaller in diameter. I'm going to be using the medium stretch tubing in amber when I tie mine, and he uses the medium amber Larva Lace, of course, and it's just a little bit smaller, so it's a lot easier for me to get it over a size 18 than it is a size 16 on the curved caddis hook. But like he says, you just have to hunt for a smaller wired hook with a smaller eye, and you have no problem with it if you want to go to the bigger sizes. Another thing that he uses is Larva Lace foam. I use Larva Lace foam. He gave me a piece of it, as you'll see here in the video, but also I've tried it, and I'll show you a fly right here right now that I tied using just craft foam, and we also carry that at the shop, the craft foam. The difference being the craft foam is a lot denser foam. If you would see the actual Larva Lace foam, it is not as dense, not as compressed like foam, but it does the same thing. I've tied with both of them. You get the same effect from both of them. So don't be afraid to use craft foam that you get at the shop or you get at Walmart, wherever you want to get it. Try this fly. I'm telling you, it is a fish catching fly. You won't be disappointed in it. Randy's been tying it for a lot of years. If you ever saw him at any of the shows or anything, or if you're from our area and you sit on a TU class of his, I'm sure you saw him tie this. He always ties two different patterns when he does shows, and it's usually his stonefly pattern, which is really productive, really good pattern, all natural, not like me using the lively legs and beads and stuff. He doesn't like the beads and the new products. He's old school. And the other pattern he ties a lot is the Heathan. He catches a ton of fish on the Heathan. So I really suggest giving this a try. Like I said, we don't carry Larva Lace in the shop, but we do carry the alternatives. So look us up at holsingersflyshop.com for all the needs for the material for this video and any of the other videos you see from me. We carry the material in the shop. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. I have a button in the video, so subscribe to the channel so you're constantly updated with new videos.
Ready?
Yep.
We're going to do a pattern called the Heathan. And no, it's not named for me. It was originally tied out on the San Juan River by a friend of Phil Camera. And Phil Camera adapted it to Larva Lace. So that's what we're going to do here. You need a grub hook that in size 16, which we have here in the vise, and 18s, you can use a standard wire.
Okay.
But for larger sizes like 12s and 14s, you need to go to a light wire hook with the small eye. Okay? Because we're going to do a technique known as a slip over. And we're going to use some black thread. Start this thread about 3 eye lengths back, and we're going to wrap back to midway between the hook point and the barb. We're going to let that there. Then we're going to take a piece of crystal flash, which we have here on the table. Let's use it. For this pattern, we're going to use some pearl crystal flash, and we're going to wrap back on itself. Take it, start it at the head on the thread, and wrap back. So you're using the crystal flash to secure itself all the way back, and then 2 turns of your tying thread, and now we have a shiny, we're going to end up with a shiny exoskeleton. This one is larva lace body material in yellow, and it's a hollow tubing, stretch tube in the macro or medium, and do they come in large?
Do they come in
a larger size? But anyway, in the medium size, in 16s and 18s, you can do this same pattern with stretch tube, because I've done it.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to take the body material here again, because it's a synthetic, cut it on a sharp angle. And what that does too is it opens up the gap of the tubing. And if you're going to tie a lot of heathens, you do not want to stretch this material out and narrow down the inside diameter. And I'm going to show you a little trick here. This is my brother's trick. And usually I have no problem doing a slip over, but he'll take his dubbing wax and he'll just touch a little dubbing wax onto the eye of the hook as a lubricant, okay? I usually don't do that, but it's a nice trick to use, and we're going to slide this body material right up over the eye of the hook.
Right.
Okay? You only want to use a piece of this material that will represent half your body length. So you're not using a whole lot of the tubing. And then once you cut that off, then we're going to continue to slide this back to the end of the barb. Now, the reason why you only want half your body length is use your fingernail and hold that body material down and put 3/4 turns of tying thread there to anchor the body material, and then when you rib this, it stretches the body material back up over the
stretches it forward towards the eye.
Stretches it forward. So now you have an exoskeleton effect with the crystal flash underneath, and you have a black rib.
Right.
In the olive and gray shades with that black rib, and really makes a neat Batis blue quill type emerger pattern. And that's what this is. It's a midge emerger pattern, but tied with yellow like this, I found it works well when the sulfurs are on too. We're going to take a piece of larva lace foam, and it's pre-sliced is what I like about it. And you could take this foam and you can stretch it out for smaller sizes if you want. Once you stretch it, it won't return. So you have, here again, it's a synthetic that you have to know what you're doing with it and stretch it out. We're going to take this foam, tie it in on top of the heathen pattern, secure it. You could take rabbit fur here, or again the red squirrel. Like I said, I'm very fond of red squirrel, if you haven't caught on to that. And we're going to dub this up. Are we okay? Yeah, we're going to put maybe about 1.5 to 2 inches of fur on here, and dubbing onto your tying thread. And you don't want it real tight, but you want lots of guard hair in it. And make enough wraps behind the post that the foam angles out over the eye of the hook. You can see it there. Then we're going to finish this off in front, and then I'm going to explain something for you here. That. Now, here's something I want to explain to you. You ever go out fishing someday in a pond or lake or in a long, slow pool on a trout stream where you see fish raising dorsal fin and tail, but there's no bubbles? That fish is taking something that's suspended under the surface. Okay, Sean? Take this pattern and cut the post about 3/8 to 1/4 of an inch long, just like I have my scissors here. And what that post is going to do is suspend that pattern just under the surface, and you fish it just like a dry fly. But over the years of fishing this pattern, I like it cut off about 1/8 of an inch high, just like that. And tie it on, put some split shot 6-8 inches above the fly on your leader, and go down and get it. You're fishing a suspended fly, because with that foam, the split shot's going to be on the bottom, your fly's going to be bouncing above the current on the bottom.
You're fishing this as a nymph.
Fishing it as a nymph.
Right.
But you can take this same pattern now, just the way it's tied now, and put some gink on there, on that fur, and you could fish it again in the surface film, just this way. But it doesn't take anything to cut some of them long.
Right.
Now, on the stream, you can always cut them off.
Right.
If you need to. But this is the way that I like to fish it. And believe it or not, I catch steelhead on this pattern. So
it is a great pattern. I know my friend Squeege, is you guys heard me calling him before. Squeege swears by it. I used to tie a lot of them until I ran out of the larva lace foam and didn't get any more, and kind of forgot about it. So I have to get back into tying it again.
there, now you have some.
All right. Well, thank you, Randy. Anyhow, thanks again to Randy for coming down and showing us a couple of his favorite patterns. I hope you enjoyed them all. And please take the time to check us out at Holsinger's Fly Shop. And if you're ever at one of the fly tying shows, stop in at Randy's booth and say hi to him. Say you saw us on Holsinger's Fly Shop.